Welcome. This video focuses on how to edit existing placement exams in Canvas. We do not cover placement test policy issues, creating new tests, or every possible question type in Canvas. Please contact Language Assessment at uchicago.edu for any questions on those topics. This video closely follows the Editing Language Placement Exams PDF. Contact the Office of Language Assessment if you need a copy of this document, or if you have any questions about any of the information in this video. Now, let's get started. To find your exams, go to courses.uchicago.edu and log in. On your dashboard, find the current placement testing site. As of March 2018, the site was called Placement Exam Demo 2. To locate the test for your subject, go to Modules, and then find your language. You can hide some modules by clicking the arrow, or scroll down until you find your language. For this video, we'll be working with a duplicated module called German Copy. A few important pieces of information. Please note that any tests in Canvas are called quizzes. So for this video, quizzes, placement exams, and placement tests all mean the same thing. Also, please be sure to only make changes to the quizzes in the language you teach. And anytime you are editing a page or a question, always remember to click Save or Update Question. First, you should preview your exam. IT Services was able to bring most pieces of each exam directly from Chalk to Canvas, but this is usually not 100% perfect. Therefore, it is important to look through each part of each test. To preview your test, click on the test within the module. Then click Preview. You can now scroll through your test, making sure each question and answer looks the way it should. In just a moment, we will talk about editing the questions or answers if they don't look right, but for now, we are just looking through to make sure everything looks right. You can also compare your test in Canvas to the corresponding tests in Chalk. To do this, go to chalk.uchicago.edu, click on Summer 2017 College Placement Tests, find your language, and you can then look at each test to make sure each question and possible answers in Chalk matches those in Canvas. There are several settings within Canvas that your language may or may not use. To review these, click on your test and then click Edit. Sometimes it says keep editing this quiz. Here we will click Edit. If you have any instructions that are specific to this test, you may enter them here. Keep in mind that general information about the placement test for this language can usually be found here in the first part of the module. However, if you have any information specific to this test, you can enter that here. In the Options section, the first option is Shuffle Answers, which we highly recommend. This randomizes the order of the multiple choice options. It does not randomize the order in which the questions appear. If your test uses a time limit, make sure this box is checked and that the number of minutes is accurate, perhaps 120. But this is up to each language. We require that this box, Allow Multiple Attempts, is not checked. We also require that this box, Let Students See Their Quiz Responses, is not checked. We do not want students to see their correct or incorrect responses because they can take screenshots and give them to other students. We highly recommend that this box, Show One Question at a Time, is checked, because a fundamental multiple choice testing principle is that the answer to one question should not facilitate the answer to another question. We also highly recommend that this box lock questions after answering is also checked, so students cannot go back to change their answers. This will give students a reminder each time they click next that they cannot go back to the previous page. As always, when you are finished, click Save. There are some common migration errors that occur when transferring tests from Chalk to Canvas. These include attachments, correct answers, punctuation, and spelling. Again, this is why it is extremely important to review each question within each quiz. To edit questions, click on the test, then click Edit, then click Questions. Be sure to click Show Question Details. You can click the pencil to make changes. You can change the question type, the number of points a question is worth, the wording of the question, the possible answers, and the correct answer by clicking the green arrow. As always, when you're finished, click Update Question. To add a new question, click Edit, go to Questions, and then go down to the bottom and click New Question. You can give the question a title if you would like to, you don't need to, and then you can choose the question type. If you would like to add more question types to your existing test, we highly recommend contacting the Office of Language Assessment. Enter in the necessary information like number of points, question wording, and possible answers, and the correct answer, and then click Update Question. If you are unfamiliar with adding images, audio, video, or file attachments in Canvas, it is highly recommended that you contact the Office of Language Assessment staff. For now, here are some important pieces of information. First, each language has its own file within Canvas so that you can easily find any materials you upload. Second, keep in mind that any files uploaded as attachments can be downloaded by students, which means they could then share them with other test takers. This damages the security of the test. To prevent this, we recommend using Embed Kaltura Media or Record Upload Media buttons for embedding audio or video in the page so that they cannot download the files. For reading passages, we strongly encourage copying and pasting reading passages directly into the question box, rather than uploading Word documents or PDFs, which can be downloaded. If you want students to be able to read the text while answering questions, you may need to copy and paste the text into each relevant question box. Please contact the OLA if you have questions about this. Again, finally, always remember to click Save or Update Question.